AW related video. Today we're going to talk about captions. We're going to talk all about captions. I get questions all the time about captions. Like, what do I write? What do I say? Are they even important? Let's get into it. So why are they so important? Captions provide a written element and kind of like a personal touch to enhance your photos. And they also just allow your viewers to connect with you on a deeper level because you can write tons of different types of things, and I like to add a little personal touch to everything that I do with the captions because it gets an element of how you speak, what types of things you would say, whereas if you're just putting a picture up there, it does feel very one-dimensional, kind of flat. So use captions to showcase your personality and also highlight your perspective on whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you're showing in your photos. And obviously when it comes to sex work, the forefront of all of your content, it should be something that is going to stimulate someone's mind in a certain way. So I always try to look at it from the perspective of the viewer. So let's talk about how you can write captivating captions that will keep your viewers engaged. Let's start with tip number 1. Keep it short and sweet. A lot of the time people are scrolling pretty quickly through their feeds. So if it doesn't catch someone's attention very quick, then no one's gonna read it if it's too long and you've got a paragraph here with bullet points there and then another bullet point. No. Keep it short and sweet, something that's easily going to capture the attention of someone. And another way to capture someone's attention is kind of bolding text or doing capitals for certain words that you want to stand out, those types of things. Make it super easy to understand what you're saying right away. No confusing wording, something that's just simple and easy. And just because something's simple doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Make sure you pack a punch, okay? Make sure what you say has those juicy, meaty words that are going to capture someone's attention. And you can also break up longer things that you want to say with just simply putting bullet points. And I think that's another more digestible way to read a lot of text. So make sure if you do want to say a lot of things, you put it in a format that makes sense for easy reading. Tip number 2 is to be authentic. I think it's so important to just be yourself because you really want your audience to get to know you. And yeah, this side of us isn't always at the forefront and it's not always who we are completely, but at least share a little bit into who you are because I think that's what really builds those strong connections with your fans and what keeps them coming back for more and keeps them feeling like they want to continue to be subscribed to you because it's something different than, say, the copy paste, normal caption that they get from everybody else. Add a little personality to it. Add a little bit of who you are. The way you can do that is share your kind of tone of voice. You can also share stories. You can share thoughts, ideas. You can share opinions. You can share even your daily life or personal life, whether that's things that you're going through or things that you're doing throughout the day, or even your interests and things that you like to do. I think that those are important to share with your audience, even if it is on a sex work platform. And ways that you can do that is kind of just taking a quick picture of the things that you're doing or your hobbies, like if you're into gaming or doing this or that, taking maybe a sexy photo, doing whatever it is that you do and adding a caption about what the things that you like to do are. Tip number 3 is to use emojis. I know that's probably seems like a pretty basic tip, but it's actually so important. Some people don't use any emojis, and I think that really takes away from showing your emotions because words can feel flat sometimes, or they're kind of harder to understand someone's emotions that they're going through. But with an emoji, you can really make it obvious what you're trying to express to someone, whether that's like the drooling emoji or the evil emoji. See how those are different emotions that can capture your attention. I think it can also really break up all the different text that you have going on too. So it makes it easier to just look at. I will say though, don't overdo the emojis. I think sometimes that comes across as annoying or just like overwhelming. You really want to just use enough, and I would say enough would be maybe 1 or 2, maybe even 3 if it's a longer sentence. And if you're doing bullet points, you can actually use emojis as your bullet points. So in that case, you can use a few more. And I also use them as kind of ways to highlight certain words. So I'm sure you've seen on like TikTok, people what used to do, they would write something and then one word would be highlighted with 2 stars on the side. So you can kind of do similar things like that. Like I always like to use the evil emoji on either side of something like naughty that I'm saying, or things like that. You can use it on either side of a word that you really want to stand out. Tip number 4 is to use OF tools to highlight your captions. So there are tons of different tools that you can use. The first one is a voice memo. So if you didn't even want to do a caption that is written, you can do a voice memo caption. So you can post a photo and then put a little voice memo underneath. And I really find that people react to these well. They really like them. And you can also use those in messages, by the way, too. Instead of typing out your message, you can send those. But as far as for caption goes, I think it really helps break that barrier between you and your fans. Sometimes text is just, it doesn't do it, you know? So sometimes adding one of those once a week or every few days is gonna really help build that honest, genuine connection with your fans. Another thing that you can do if you really want urgency within your messaging to your fans, you can add an expiration date. And you can literally make your post disappear after like 2 days or 3 days or a week. So that kind of causes a little bit of urgency to your caption. So you could say this picture or video is going to be deleted after 2 days. So make sure that you engage with it now and tell me if this or that, whatever the caption is. But I think that creates urgency and it sets an expectation for your fans to engage with that post. And I think that that's super important. So I would definitely recommend doing that. Another one is actually setting a fundraiser target. And this can be fun for games and things like that. You can set an amount that you want to achieve for this certain post. So a way to do games with that is to say, if we get this post to $100, everyone gets, one free video or something. And then everyone can kind of add to that fund, or there's other ways to do it too, but I think just adding some sort of element for them to tip you and engage with the post is gonna help with creating some hype around your post and around your caption. You can also do a poll to get some insight into your fans and kind of get them, again, engaged with your post. So I do polls to see where my audience came from, like maybe geographically or literally from, like if they came from Instagram or TikTok or whatever, just to get some insight into that type of thing, or people they're subscribed to. So I can get an insight if they're subscribed to a lot of people or if they're just subscribed to me or to a few people that they like. Those types of things, or what type of content they really enjoy, what's their favorites, those types of things I would use polls for, and it just helps you connect with your audience, and then that way you can make better content for them. And the last one of the OF tools that I would use for captions is the quiz. And this allows you to kind of play with your audience and it gets them to engage with your post. And I think that's a great way to really highlight your caption. You can say, what's my favorite blah, 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 and then have them guess. And everybody who wins gets a free prize or whatever it is. So I think that's a fun way to spice up your captions. And every once in a while, I definitely like to throw one of those OF tools in there, so it's not consistently just the boring text as your caption. Tip number 5 is to add a call to action. And I would try and do this very, very often. Obviously, you don't want it to be too pushy where every single caption you're trying to get them to respond. But I think adding a call to action saying, like this post if you're blank, like this post if you like da-da-da, or comment down below your favorite blank, insert here, But just adding a call to action or saying, message me if you see this post, DM me if you see this post, something like that. Just something to add them to get involved in your content and enjoy your content more by being interactive. By adding a call to action, you are encouraging your followers to connect with you, and that's what really matters. That's what's gonna get you to make more money on the platform because they're gonna spend more time with you. They're gonna enjoy your content more, which in return is gonna make you more money. Tip number 6 is to experiment with different styles of captions. I always like to try new things. And if you come up with an idea or you see another idea on another creator's profile, you can experiment with it and try new things. I think that that's really important because you never know what style is gonna connect with others. So trying out a bunch of different styles and maybe bouncing back and forth between a few different options. Obviously, I do think that it's important to kind of find your tone, but it is fun to try new things and see what your fans are gonna actually really enjoy and connect with. I think some other styles of captions that you can do is try and tell a little bit of a story with your captions. You can actually create some series with your captions. I think that that could be really fun. So you can really play around with your captions and make them a part of your content creation rather than a second thought. And the last one is to do your research. I think something that I started doing in the beginning before I really got comfortable making my own captions was I just did research. I would Google things to say in the bedroom and, I don't know, all those types of things. And I would look up captions basically by looking up what people would literally say to each other to turn each other on. That's what I would look up. And then I would use that and convert it into a caption style. And I think just doing your research and finding inspiration in many different places, whether that's from other people's captions, obviously don't copy, but you can always use inspiration, or just, like I said, doing a quick Google search. You can also ask your fans for ideas. They know what they want to see. So if you ask them what captions are your favorites, which captions have you enjoyed of mine the most or of other people's, asking your fans because they know what they want to see. On most sites, you can see your analytics. So on OnlyFans, you can see which caption and photo combo did the best. So it mainly is like based on the photo, but you can see what captions you wrote on those high performing photos, and you can recreate those in many different ways and keep learning from if that next post that you did that was similar did well, or if it didn't, figure out why it didn't. Was it the photo? Was it the caption? What was it? So I think just doing your research is a really good tip, and there's always a way to make your content better with captions. So I think captions are really, really important, and I hope that this video was helpful to get you inspired into really focusing on your captions and not leaving them for the back burner, making them part of your content creation and thinking about them ahead of time. I think that's gonna help you really create a good, strong connection with your fans and keep them around longer and make them spend more money. And all in all, I think it'll really help with your journey. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And with that all being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.